Hi guys, back again with another video. This one I think it might be really useful to a lot of Citroën and Peugeot users, owners. It drove me crazy for a month and I finally got it. I finally did it. But anyway, the short version is if you have a problem with your front wipers, first, let me show you. First, you go to the motors. Yeah, this is number one. Number one, where you check, because they get very rusted inside and they get humidity and they corrode and all that. Okay, but then second, you go to the PSM. Yeah, the fuse box underneath the bonnet. Yeah, and then very last, you go to the wiring. Yeah, see if you have anything loose or broken. Now, what I've done, because I thought I'm genius, I checked the wires because I looked online, and I found the video where it shows you might have a problem with the wire. So that was my first thing to do, because it's free. I could do it myself, and well, not really free. I paid about 10 euros to get the wiring thingy online, because they're not free. But anyway, they're horrible. I'm telling you, they're horrible. When you first see this, you get crazy. So that's the short version. Motors, especially because they get corroded, and then BSM, and then wires. Okay. But now let's go a bit deeper for those that have tried those things and still didn't manage to succeed. Now, what I found was that from the BSI, you only have 3 wires. That takes you to wipers in the BSM. So I checked the continuity of all 3, really good. Then I checked the continuity from the what is it? Oh, this is the sensor. You can't check that, very hard anyway. But from the controller, yeah, from the steering wheel, check the continuity from there, all good. Then I checked from there to here, all good. From here to the motors, all good. From the motors, from one motor to the other, all good. I checked the earth, all good. Yeah, I went to car parts breakage. So I replaced the motors, both of them, nothing. I replaced the steering wheel controller, nothing. But I also have the diag box tester. So in the tester, you can see that every time you change the setting, shows you active or or not. So this one was working. So definitely not this one. Then I changed the BSI and the BSM together from another car, but this BSM, the guy did not have the exact code for my BSM. So because it didn't give me any errors and the car was starting perfectly fine when I only changed the BSM, I thought it's not from the BSM, because it's incredibly hard to have everything working perfectly fine apart from the wipers. just because it has a different number on the BSM. Anyway, so I changed BSI, BSM from another car, which were, on the same car. I know it won't start, the car won't start, even if you change the anti-theft thingy, on the starter. It still won't read it. Anyway, so you just switch on the ignition, see if the wipers work. They didn't, so I got really upset. Then I started checking these wires. So you need to understand how crazy Citroën is. So on number 11 here, no, on number 12, yeah, on number 12 you have 10.8 volts with the ignition off, yeah, off, and then you put the ignition on and it goes to 4.7 or something like that volts, yeah. But the crazy thing is, when the ignition is off, you do have 10.8 volt here, because if you take a measuring device, you hook up the plus here, and then you hook up the minus on the chassis, and guess what? You have continuity, meaning on the same wire you have 10.8 volts and continuity to the chassis, which is absolutely crazy. I really thought that this car will end up, in the scrap, because I thought there's a wire touching somewhere and I don't know how to find it, because what I've done, this one, number 11. Oh, by the way, in Citroën, number 12 is white, number 11 is yellow, and they're tangled together all the way to the BSI. In my car's wiring, this number 23 didn't even appear, but on the car I found it. On the car it's a purple wire. I didn't measure. I think it didn't have any value, but number 11 here, which is the yellow one, it had 0.1 volts, which is absolutely crazy, man. Yeah. And when you measure this 11 with 12, you still get 10.8 volts. Looks like, it feels like this is a ground, but when you check the continuity with the chassis, this one doesn't go there. Absolutely crazy. Anyway, my problem was that I couldn't find any car to check if these values are similar with mine, and this stupid wiring thing doesn't give you any colors guiding or any values on all these wires. I mean, come on, 10.8 volts on with the ignition off, and then 4.7. Anyway, crazy. So in my car, what the problem was, this number 27, this 27, come on, this had 12 volts permanent, ignition off. 28, which is from the other motor, had 0 volts. Now, what I've done to be able to use the car this whole month was to just hook up, well, not really hook it up. I had to cut this wire here and cut this wire here, and then this wire I would connect it here with this end, like that, and then this wire I will connect it to this wire. So now we had 12 volts, and I had a selector in the car with a wire. I hooked up another wire here, and I took it in the car with the button. So every time I would close this here, then this 12 volts would go to this 12 volt, and then I would get like intermittent wipers working. But the problem was, even if you switch off the ignition, the wipers will still work for a few seconds until the whole system shuts down. So crazy. But anyway, not reliable. Obviously, if it's if the rain is a bit harder, or if you overtake a bus, even if it's not that much rain, but the water on the tarmac would just fly off on your windshield, and it would blind you completely. It happened to me, and it was absolutely crazy. But if I didn't switch these two in between them, then the driver motor, after I switch off this, the driver motor would keep going on and on and on. So I found that if I switch these two between them, then somehow they would stop together and work together at least. Anyway, absolutely crazy. But the problem was, I didn't know whether I was supposed to have these 12 volts permanent here or not, or whether I was supposed to have 12 volts on both permanent. I didn't know, because I couldn't find any other car to test it. So I ordered a BSM from a guy, company. They gave me an invoice. I paid it. BSM never came. Happens. The guy just tricked me. Took my money. It wasn't much. It was about 40 something euros, but not nice anyway. It was the stress of it and all that, and I had to wait 2-3 weeks before I was sure he would never send it. I spoke to a few electricians, and they all avoid this like the plague, because they know that if it's a simple wire cut off somewhere and you didn't measure it right, they will have to work like crazy to find that, and they can't charge you that much, so they avoid it completely. Honestly, I spoke to 4 or 5 of them, and they all say, "Oh, I'm busy, come back next week, let me give you some advices," but nobody wanted to start working on it. Anyway, my last resort was to have the motors wired on a completely separate new wiring in the car with the button, and have them run on one speed, and that's it. But I couldn't do that either, because they're two motors and they have to be synchronized. And I've heard people that have done it. I don't know how, but I couldn't find anyone to say, yeah, I'll do it for you. So crazy. Anyway, I checked a forum on in the UK. One guy said it was the master motor, and he had to change 3 of them before he managed to get them running properly. Running, because obviously he changed the first one, didn't work, and then somehow he had the confidence to buy another one and another one. So he got stuck with the 2 more motors at home that don't work for him. Anyway, crazy. So another guy said, "Man, I changed the BSM and it worked for me." So I finally built up the courage to ask again online, on Facebook, on these groups, Citroën groups and Peugeot groups, and I finally found a BSM which was the same, absolutely the same code as mine. And man, it worked. It finally worked. It was absolutely incredible. After a month and a half, it was like the most joyous moment of this month. It was absolutely unbelievable. And I couldn't honestly, when I installed this BSM, I thought, no, it's never gonna work because I have too many odd things happening here. It definitely is not gonna work. How can it work with 10.8 volts here and then, at the same time, connected to the chassis? It's just unbelievable how the French thought about this. The good news is that they realized they made a mistake, and then they switched back to one motor finally. I don't think they have any more problems with this. But yeah, guys, so this is it. I hope this will help you somehow. But like I said, start with the motors, take them apart completely, see how damaged they are inside. I'll have to do that as well now, even though it works now, but I'll have to do that now just to make sure they're not too corroded. I have to clean them a bit inside, grease them, and yeah, so it was all from this relay, R5. And if I knew where it was, I mean, I was thinking to try, take the BSM apart, the old one, the broken one, and see if I can find this relay, replace it, and have this, keep it as a spare. Anyway, that's it for now. I hope some of you, or at least one more of you, will benefit from this video. And that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you find it useful. And yeah, see you out there. Cheers, guys.